In February 1942, 44 ships left Singapore carrying about 13,000 women and children fleeing the Japanese. 40 of these ships were sunk by the Japanese and 5,000 women and children perished. The survivors, men, women and children, were taken to a camp called Muntok, and here in the course of the next 2 years, many of them died at the hands of the Japanese and were buried in unmarked graves in the jungle. In Shohon Sonata, I refer to them as useless mouths. Now, 60 years later, the relatives of these dead people, their grandchildren and great-grandchildren, are attempting to build a memorial to the useless mouths, to their relatives who died in the Muntok camp. They are building what they call a peace museum. It's a small hut on land donated by the Indonesian government to try and remind people that these women and children existed and died and were buried in unmarked graves. They're also trying to repatriate the bodies to Australia. After the war, the Australian government and the British government refused to return the bodies of the dead civilians to their own countries. They said it wasn't their job, they were only interested in the bodies of military people. And so, in a way, it's the dead calling out for recognition and calling out for justice. It's being funded, as I said, solely by the relatives of these victims, and it's a fantastic way to acknowledge their sacrifice. Now, if you would like to donate to the Muntok Peace Museum, to this memorial, we've got donation details coming up on this site.